front of the boat. Since the front of the boat moves around in the seaway, any excess weight in here creates drag in the ends of the boat. So I've been working very hard to get as much weight out of the bow as I can. I've removed a lot of structure in here. There was a wooden bulkhead here that supported a titanium chain plate for the headstay, and I'm replacing that with a carbon composite one that will save a lot of weight. There was a housing for our bowsprit coming in here that we're going to be modifying. They'll be lighter. All the excess resin coating that was on the wood up here, I sanded off and put on a lighter coating to save weight, both on the overhead and the sides. It's just a lot of stuff to do. It's a lot of work, but overall I'll probably save about 80 pounds up here in the bow of the boat. Just that's that little bit extra to help the bow ride a little higher when we're surfing real fast. Another practical reason for changing this chain plate, the carbon one will be bonded to the deck. It won't wiggle, it won't leak. The titanium one kept leaking, so I'd have to come up here and bail it out every couple days and carry a bucket of water all the way back out of here. And often it would, I wouldn't make it. I'd bail, I'd try to make it to the back of the boat or bouncing around, and, and I'd spill it, and so I'd have to bail it all up again. So it's nice not to leak. The water's supposed to stay on the outside of the boat. Here we are outside the bow of Ocean Planet, where we were inside a little while ago. And not only are we saving weight on the inside with some structural modifications, I've refaired and reshaped the outside of the bow for several reasons. One is to save some weight, also to sharpen up the entry at the waterline. This was a little bit blunter. If you look straight down the center line, you can see how knife-like the entry of the bow is for low resistance going through the waves. Going through small waves, this bow is so sharp that you literally don't feel or move over the little ones, so it's actually a pretty nice ride. Over the big waves, all these boats will still pound and bang around, but it slices through the little ones with very low drag. Another thing that this carbon fiber skin hides is there's a foam false bow here that extends back, I'd say about this far, and further down here. So if we hit something at high speed, this can compress and break away without violating the integrity of the inside of the boat, without leaking. We'd have to break it all the way back to here before you'd punch a hole to the interior of the boat. So let's hope we never have to test it out, but it's there just in case. This is our steel keel blade, made of welded steel. It's actually hollow, and it holds about 25 gallons of diesel. It's our second. It's my backup fuel tank inside this keel blade. This keel goes all the way to the deck, sits into a wedge system at the hull, and it's held at the deck. It makes it very, very stiff so it doesn't deflect. Our keel is very, very deep, so it's important to be very, very stiff because the 7,000 pound lead bulb is more than 14 feet, almost 15 feet deep down in the water, which gives the boat more stability. But because of its length, the distance from the hull, the amount of leverage it has is enormous. So this structure needs to be very, very strong. We have a tapered boom, tapered keel, boom, where am I? And it's 50% smaller at the bottom than at the top, so that more of the lift is closer to the hull, which gives you less heeling moment as you sail along. When we replaced our first boom, after leg one, we didn't have time to make a new sail. We knew at that point that the boom was too long. We had made it too long. It's about 33 feet long now, and we want to shorten it by about 5 feet. However, when we broke in leg one, we didn't have time to replace the sail, and we couldn't cut it down, so we had to make it long again. Though we made it very, very strong, because of its length, when I had a bad jibe in the Southern Ocean, I folded it around the running backstay, which overlaps the boom right here. And with the side force from the jibe, it broke the boom off sideways. And I had to stop in the Falkland Islands just after rounding Cape Horn and stop for 5 days to repair this. And we did a great job in the repair, and it's been as good as new since then, but I do need to make a new boom for the Vendee Globe that's about 5 feet shorter. And it's an example of the kind of improvements that you need to do based upon testing and learning to have a chance at finishing the Vendee.